This was a question for Leonidas Arcona. If Smaev won't agree, will you pull with another athlete? Who could it be? Let's just wait, but yeah, I will pull for sure. So it wasn't just a one-off thing for Leonidas when he arm wrestled and defeated Brian Shaw. He was already preparing for and calling out Andrei Smaev. But since Smaev has said he has no interest in arm wrestling or East versus West, Leonidas is looking for a new opponent. I think it should be Kirill Sarychev. I would love to see that match. In the practices in the past, Kirill has always dominated Andrei Smaev. I think it could be a good match against Leonidas. And let's talk about some bicep training for a moment. Take a look at what Leonidas said. Okay, I'm going to show you my complete arm workout today, but just for your information, not science-based shit, extreme volume and lots of weight. And he proceeded to do exactly the same. 42 kilos, 5 sets to the limit. He didn't even count the reps. Keeping the tension on the fingers during the dumbbell curls at all times just for arm wrestling. And Leonidas has one of the strongest biceps in the world. The same thing goes for Andrei Smaev. He also trains with thousands of reps. The science-based workout guys will tell you that you cannot get stronger without going all out, without your PR days. But these guys believe in volume and they have the strongest biceps in the world. This is what Oleg Zok posted after winning the 90 kg European Championship left arm gold. This victory came very hard to me. I'm assuming he must be talking about the training that he did to win this gold, because the matches in itself were not hard at all. He destroyed everyone there. Behind this victory are years of hard work. Yes, that's exactly what he's talking about. Trauma, doubt, grueling training, and moments when she wanted to give up. But I endured. By she, I think he means his arm wanted to give up. And today I can proudly say I did it. Bro, you have been doing that for years. Every single year, back to back, even after your injury. So it's not like something new to you. Anyways, WAF General Secretary put out this post a couple of days ago. You can take the screenshot and read it, but I'll give you the brief description of this. So basically this letter is saying that guys, stay away from the guys, from the arm wrestlers or anyone that is banned by WAF. And before organizing your events, get permission from the WAF, get your events sanctioned. If you don't have a WAF body in your country, then go to the WAF body of the continent that your country is in. So if you are from Asia and your country does not have the WAF governing body, then go to Asian Arm Wrestling Federation and get your event sanctioned from them. Why did they need to post it now? I'm not sure, because at this point it's kind of understood. Everyone already knows that. Did they do it for Ryan Bowen because he's organizing an event in India, and around that time Artem Ternenko cancelled his match? In fact, he said that he never confirmed it to begin with. So it's a little confusing to me why they felt the need to put it out now. Devon Larratt trained with the University of California arm wrestlers, and obviously he didn't leave the table, not even once, in the, I think it was a 3-hour live stream on Benji Max channel. I'll show you one interesting pull where Devon was arm wrestling Mika Sakvalaridze and Mika's flop was looking solid. If Devon has to dip that much below the table, it shows you that his arm was totally gassed out. So that tells you that the guys that arm wrestled Devon, they were really good. And after that, Devon went to witness the UFC event where he was seen with Alex Pereira. I'm not sure if people over there know who Devon was. Like, did the camera point at him? Did they display his name, that's an arm wrestling legend? If it happened, I would be really happy. But I don't think it did. Hermes Gasparini said that he was training like a crazy person for his 6th June match against Artyom Morozov. He did a lot of table training. He tried to replicate Devon Larratt's training style, but it was a little bit different. He did a lot of pronation, lot of rising. He didn't try to do any PRs, but still he knows that his pronation is probably the best it has ever been, and the back pressure and the rise are the same. And at this moment, Hermes is training with about 90% of his max weights, so he will be reducing that percentage even further as the match approaches closer. He said that Morozov is bigger than him, he's more muscular than him, he's better looking, but he will win the riser battle for sure.
Of course, Morozov, you are bigger than me, more massive, more muscular, more beautiful, you are more, ripped here. This challenge I will lose for sure, but important, my friend, you know what is it? This. You see this? You will feel this in your hand. This and this. Get ready, my friend.
On June 6th, we are going to see quality top roll and maybe a quality hook too. I hope Hermes is just joking here. There is no way he's going to be able to beat Morozov in a hook.
If you want to see a quality top roll and maybe quality hook, come to see me and the other guys.
Hermes was also asked by Aussie arm wrestler about what Vitaly needed to do if he wanted to beat Devon. And Hermes believes that Vitaly needed a stronger press. Then maybe the result would have been different if his finishing press was stronger. He was already very good with his side pressure to get an access to his press, to get behind his shoulder, but the finishing part was lacking. And Devon is just unbelievable at this age. His dedication, his passion to do all of those things, he is an inspiration to Hermes Gasparini. Then he also called Vitaly Laletin a fake truck driver. Hermes believes that Vitaly is full of excuses when he loses. And in the past, Vitaly used to say things like he doesn't even like arm wrestling, it's just a hobby for him, he doesn't even train for arm wrestling. Even after losing to Devon, when he had the mic in his hand, he told Devon that if I trained like you, I would beat everyone in this world. So yeah, he does make some excuses. And some people like to say, well, he wasn't lying, so it's not an excuse. I would say that an excuse has nothing to do with it being a lie or a truth. In fact, most of the excuses ever made are absolute truths. Just because it is true, it doesn't mean that it is not an excuse. That's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Use code Pradeep to purchase the pay-per-view. I'll see you again.